Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on this semi-bold eyeliner look and a softer eyeshadow. I didn't want to go too bold because I wanted the focus to be on the eyeliner and the lips. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. So I've already done my eyebrows and I'm going to move on to priming my skin, and I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and it's the pore minimizing primer. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that and dab that in the center of my face. That's normally where I have the largest pores. So I'm just gonna apply that all over my skin, focusing it just in the center, and the remaining I'm just gonna apply that on the rest of my face. And for today's foundation, I'm going to be using the Studio Fix Fluid, and I'm going to be applying that with a damp beauty blender. For my concealer, I'm going to be using the Pro Longwear Concealer by MAC in NW25. This is just going to help conceal any pigmentation under my eyes. I like to use more warmer tones first before applying any lighter shade to highlight under my eyes, just to cover up any dark circles or any pigmentation that you may have under the eyes. And I will be applying that first with a flat synthetic brush. You get a little bit more coverage and it just looks a lot smoother. I'm supposed to be using NW30 because in Studio Fix Fluid Foundation I use NC40, but for some reason I find that the NW30 is lighter than the NW25, so that's the reason why I use the NW25 instead of the NW30. And with this concealer, you have to make sure that as soon as you apply it, you blend it in, because it does dry down really quick. So you want to make sure that it doesn't leave any patches under your eyes. And to just highlight under my eyes just a bit, I'm going to be using the NW20 Pro Longwear Concealer. It's just one shade lighter than the concealer that I used. And I'm just going to apply that just on my cheekbones because I don't want the highlight to be too extreme. And again, I'm going to be applying it with a flat brush, and then with the beauty blender, I'm just going to blend it out. And for my bronzer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Tan Matte Bronzer. And I'm going to be applying that with this Tarte brush. And to set my foundation, I'm going to be using the Studio Fix Powder in C6 and the Morphe E40 brush. And I've used this brush before in my previous videos, and I love this brush because it's almost like using a powder puff, and it just mattifies your foundation and sets your foundation really well. And by patting in the powder, it also just gives you a little bit more coverage. And for blush, I'm going to be using Epic by Tarte, and I'm going to pick that up with a large ankle contour brush by Sigma. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that, the apple of my cheeks. And right after I apply my blush, I always go back in with the Morphe E41 brush and I just kind of blend everything together. So now that we're done with the skin, I'm going to move on to my eyes, and I am going to be using the Lemonade by Benefit, and I'm going to apply that with a flat shader brush by Sigma, and it's the E60 brush. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that all over my eyes. Once you're done applying the base, you can go ahead and just set it with a translucent powder. I'm just using my Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is just going to allow the shadow to glide on a lot smoother, especially when you're using a cream base. First, you always want to make sure that you just set it. Since we are going to be doing a softer eye with a bold wing liner, we are going to be using the Melt Cosmetics Dark Matter stacked eyeshadows. So I'm going to be picking up the color Blur, and I'm going to use the Makeup Addiction Expert brush, and I'm just going to glide that over my crease, and that's going to be my first transition color. To add a little bit of depth in the crease, I'm going to go in with the color Unseen, and I'm going to use a MAC 217 brush because I want the application to be a little bit more precise. I'm just going to dab that brush into the eyeshadow and just get a little bit of the product on the tip, and I'm just going to apply that. I'm going to start off with applying that right in the center of my crease very lightly and just go back and forth. And you can start seeing the definition in the crease. And I'm holding the brush pretty far back just because I want to make sure that the application is not too harsh, so I don't have that much control onto the brush. And I'm just going to use the same blending brush, and I'm just going to blend those two shades together. I didn't add any more product to the brush. I just want to make sure that it's really well blended. My eyelids, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors Ideal Duo Lemon Drop eyeshadow, and I'm going to first pick up the eye base. And I'm just going to apply that on my lid, and I'm using the same large shader brush, the E60 by Sigma, and I'm just going to apply that right on my lid. And at the same time, not creating a cut crease, but just creating definition right under my crease. And using that same side that I picked up the base, I'm just gonna pick the shadow up and just apply that onto my lid very lightly. For my eyeliner, I'm going to be using the NYC liquid liner. I like to use this because it is a matte liner, and as you can see, it's really intense. So because the eyeliner is going to be a lot thicker, I want it to have more of a matte finish opposed to being more glossy. So I'm just going to pick up that brush, and I always like to start in the center and then just really carefully work your way in. And as you can see, I always like to start by doing small steps opposed to just gliding the eyeliner all the way through. and then just flip it over and then just work your way from outwards to back in. And I just stop there and pick up a little bit more of the product. And just make it as thick as you'd like. When I do this on clients, I typically try not to breathe. But for myself, it's a little bit easier. And now I'm just gonna do the wing part. So this part is what's a lot harder for most of you guys. So I just like to follow the shape of my eye and just kind of very lightly do small steps. So typically what I like to do is I like to just very lightly do small steps as well when I'm doing my wing, and then just when I get to the end, I just kind of like let it flare out and then connect that part to the rest of your liner. I do tend to cheat a little when I do my wing. For some reason, I don't know if it's just this eyeliner that I bought, that the applicator is a lot thicker. So when I go in to do my wing, I like to use the e.l.f. applicator. It's super thin. You see how thin that is? It just helps me create that sharpness for the wing. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Tarte Tarteist mascara, which I've been loving. I've been showing you guys this mascara in the last few videos. I compared it to my Extended Play mascara by MAC. Typically, I like to use my Extended Play mascara just on my bottom lashes now because it doesn't transfer under my eyes. I can't do that with this one because this one does transfer, but I do love to use this for my top lashes. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that mascara on my top lashes. For my lashes, I'm going to be using the Blinking Beaute number 3 lashes. These are pretty flary and intense lengthwise. They're not as full, but I still want my wing to be the focus. So these lashes are perfect for this look. For my waterline, I'm going to be using the NYX Wonder Pencil in medium, and that's just going to help neutralize inside my waterline. For the bottom of my eyes, I'm going to be using this neon eyeshadow by Melt in their Radioactive stack, and E30 pencil brush by Sigma. And I'm just gonna apply that right under my lash line. And for my lips, I'm gonna be using the ColourPop Limbo liquid lipstick. And I'm not going to use a lip liner because I typically don't like to use lip liners when I do a liquid lipstick. I like the application that the liquid lipstick just gives you. So I'm going to be just using the applicator to define my lips. Alright guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to leave any comments below if you want me to create any other looks or have any other suggestions. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.